right, we got people flowing in. What's going on, everyone? Vega here for SerpentX Tech. I welcome you back to another episode of Caffeine Crypto, where you join me with your favorite caffeinated beverage of choice: coffee, energy drink, tea, whatever you got, water, as we go over this week's crypto news. Been a great week. Last Caffeine Crypto, we talked about this upcoming week, meaning last Saturday, talking about the week that we're currently in. I said the middle of this week, we're going to have a crypto move. I don't know if I should start selling the information, but just looking at the charts, you can kind of see things. Here's where the catch though comes. Unfortunately, it could be manipulated by people in power with a simple action, tweet, message, the demeanor, right? The Fed meeting didn't really inspire confidence to me, and I really felt like we were going to fall down, retrace a little bit, and then push up later in the week, more like this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But, of course, DJT announced the UK trade agreement, and that just sent the market up, right? So the opposite of what the charts were saying because of that statement, of that messaging. Good, but also not good. It's kind of like a catch-22 in my personal opinion, because I'm expecting for the market to do something different, and it changes course on a flip of a switch, and that can mess with your money a little bit especially if you got some swing trades in there, or playing around the derivatives market. But I know a lot of people are very happy right now, and that's great. I'm in a position to where I'm taking profits in certain assets because I need to take care of things. I just got paid this Thursday. Money's already gone. I literally only have $200 in my checking. That's why hackers don't even bother with my ass. One, I have a low subscriber count. Two, my portfolio is never shown to you as far as the evaluation, and it ain't much. And then three, I'm broke. It would be more trouble to come after me as a content creator. It wouldn't even be worth it. But the point being is I had to take profits. And so thanks to DJT, I was able to do some of that. And now this is taking profits in the long term. When I say take profits, people are like, oh, you're selling Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. I'm not even selling Bitcoin. I'm selling other assets that are pumping. And compared to when I got in to where I sold, I am up significantly, and it can help me out with fixing the car, taking care of dad, which we got the transplant coming up soon. And, water heater for the house. My son's CV boot ripped in the weirdest way, so I got to replace that. Parts on its way. Things that I need to do for my household. I am just a regular guy. You guys are literally watching me in my bedroom because I am just a regular guy that has a family to take care of. I only been doing crypto as far as online or through the YouTubes and videos since, I would say, late 2016, 2017, but I've been in crypto since late 13, early 2014. So I just been the at-home guy for the longest time, jumping in forums, talking to people, having a great time, and learning with this ecosystem. And from where it's been to where it has grown, I am super excited. But we still got more to come, right? We hit 104K. We're at 103.5 right now. What's next? Is 125 in the horizon? Well, it could be. And we're going to do some charting in a minute, but you can see there's some assets in the deep greens. For example, Ethereum's almost at 2,500, up 5.46%. So a lot of the altcoins are in the deep greens, right? We got DOT up to $5, up 8.7, 8.8, almost 8.9%. Avalanche up almost 7%. ARB up almost 8%, almost 9% actually. EOS making a comeback. BGB, XMR, Monero. Remember, I just said a tweet the other day, compared to where XMR or Monero was at and where it was a few weeks ago, which I think it was only $260, that would have been a good long-term play. Now, the reason that price pumped when I said that tweet is that there was a hack and the perpetrators were converting into a privacy-focused coin to obfuscate their identity, right? Because privacy tokens can be utilized to try to hide the money trail or hide who the money actually belongs to, yada, yada, yada. So once they get into the privacy chain, it can be harder to track. Doesn't mean it's they can't track it. It could be harder to track. So you're just kind of, kicking up dust or trying to, cover your tracks as you move along. We got Aave also up 6-7%, Uniswap up 7%, Render up 5%. A lot of coins in the deep greens. Teta, Gala, and a bunch others, right? XRP still around the $2.40. I would expect to see more out of that. I would hope to be around $3 already. But it's good to see at least Ethereum have some damn life, because that sucker's been dying on me. Now, if you look directly to your right, and there's a telemarketer calling me, you'll see that there's a deep spike upwards, right? And there's this pink line. This is the line that we were talking about last week. I said that we were in this wedge, right, between the pink and the orange. It was just a short term, right? Short term. But I was expecting the middle of this week to have a really good push up, and that's exactly what was happening, right? So Monday the news came out. Tuesday the markets ran wild. We started to push, and I tweeted out, because we were right at this pink line, right at that 96,200, and I was like, push, right, like the Spartan, 300, like, hold the line, we can do this. And we broke above it, and then we turned it to support. So now it was supporting us, and we were bouncing off of it. And then the following day, we were bouncing off of it again, fell through, but then we pushed right back up over it. So now that guy is support, right? So now that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to turn that resistance that's been bugging us for a while, not just here, but further back in the further time frames, and we pushed above it. And now we got a huge candle on Thursday, a huge candle on Thursday. So we had the Fed meeting, which again, to me, didn't really inspire confidence. We're going to continue to pause. We're not rate cutting or anything like that. And usually with rate cuts, we have a nice pump up. Rate increases, we have a dump. And then rate pauses, we chop sideways. So I was expecting, once we got above this line, to just chop sideways, 96, 98, 96, 98. But of course, there's some exuberance in the market. People probably started taking advantage of it. Maybe some of the traditional stocks isn't getting as much motion or movement as they would like. So they're moving over, and you see people flocking to Bitcoin, to gold, to silver, to a number of assets that are going to kind of help those people in their portfolios as they diversify. And you should always be diversified to try to maintain and maybe get better gains than they would have if they just stayed in the S&P 500, which is consistently going up, but at a 2 to 3 to maybe 4% a year. The gains you can get with Bitcoin, if you're on track or on the right train, is so much better. Now, I wouldn't bet the farm on it, but being diversified and having a good position in Bitcoin is always something good for anybody to do. And that's not financial advice. That's just looking at the long-term data. We look at the daily. Just look at this, guys. There's a dinosaur, right? That's the beginning of time for that, when coin trading view started tracking, right? Bitcoin goes further than that because that's only 2017. But just from 2017 till now, like, yes, there's been bear markets and ebbs and flows, but this is just a long-term bull market, right? If you zoomed out, or if you were just born the other day, you're up. If you had got here in 2017, you're up 2,500% over 2,684 days. So a good long-term strategy would be to diversify yourself into Bitcoin. And now we're hitting this resistance, and this resistance was resistance as well back here in late 2024 when we put the previous all-time high. Will we break that previous all-time high of 109K? Well, we're certainly in a position to do so. I think if we chop sideways, right, continue to chop sideways, hitting this resistance, not too much. I don't want to keep hitting the wall, because if we keep hitting the wall, you can see that there's been times in the past where we just fell even further. I don't want to keep doing that. There is a chance that we could retrace, yes. Let's see what that chance could be. So that's resistance now. We also have a nice support level right here at 98. We also have support at 102, 103. So let's go from there. So 102, 103. So that will be only a 2% downturn. And then the next level of 4 almost 5% downturn. And then the next level beyond that, which is right at the very rim of 97K, 6%, and then down to my previous line of 95K, which would be about 7.57%. So I think there's a lot of support now behind us that could help us out, right? Like, so even if we did retrace, I expect us to go back up. And again, looking at the chart here, this indicator, this red dot that was printed, like I said, I was expecting us to break out and then come back down and then chop sideways on this line, but that did not happen, and the market exuberance took it the rest of the way. So Bitcoin price rallies as global liquidity growth accelerates. At the time of this article, when was this article written? Article was written 18 hours ago, right? So Bitcoin's price is notoriously sensitive to global liquidity. Some analysts go as far as calling it their correlation near perfect. With a lag of about 3 months, this relationship is fueling the current bullish narrative as BTC price soars back to 100,000. But how long would the trend last? That's a good question, and one of the reasons why I titled, when 125K. Because I really would prefer to just chop sideways. But at the same time, I know that the global tensions and the economic tensions, and they are going on in the world. The wars haven't stopped people. If something like a black swan event happens or something very negative happens throughout the market, then, and there are negative things happening, but are they affecting the market is the question. It could pull us right back. It could pull us right back, and I don't want that. And of course here, we got Raoul Pal, the founder of Global Macro Investor, recently gave a speech in strong correlation between Bitcoin and global M2 liquidity. In a recap post by Paul, Paul's message refers to, despite looming concerns, recession risks, geopolitical tensions, and other global stressors, right? The wars, the various countries' economies, rising liquidity as the dominant force behind the asset price action. According to Paul, expanding liquidity backs up to 90% of Bitcoin's price action and as much as 97% of Nasdaq's performance. Indeed, a chart comparing the global M2 with a 12-week lead and Bitcoin's price shows an almost uncanny alignment. And then they have a chart here right below it, which is showing the global M2, right? Let's see if we can open up a new tab and I move out of your way here. You can see, so they're saying it's a 12-week lead time, right? And so the price of Bitcoin is in green, the M2 is in white, and could we push up? All right, so this is going into 2025. Looks like the end of 2025, where you see M2 is around 110, or right below 110, maybe like 109.5, and then on here on the right, Bitcoin 140. So could Bitcoin, continue to follow this? You could see there's been some overlap in some areas where Bitcoin did not follow exact, but there is that chance or opportunity there. So Paul also frames the issue is personal finance terms. He says that there's 11% hidden tax on all of us, composed of 8% currency debasement and 3% global inflation. If you're not earning more than 11% per year, you're getting poorer by definition. And I feel that. I don't know if you feel that, but as a retail regular person investing, do you feel that? Because it no matter how much, so the cost of the bills, right? Electricity is outrageous where I live now. I know that's why Goat stopped mining when they moved, because the electricity rates were ridiculous where they were. I'm having to downscale my mining SIPs. I'm still going to keep my GPU rigs, keep most of my rigs, but I'm downscaling because, one, I need the damn money, and two, the cost of electricity keeps going up. But that's just because the electric company I'm with has a monopoly in the area. They won't let FPL come up. They won't let Clay Electric expand. And there's some great discounts or things that I can utilize with them, but I can't because JEA has a stranglehold on where my county is and where I'm located. And they just keep hiking the price up, even though they've been caught multiple times with their hand in the cookie jar and found to be doing fraudulent things by the court system. They still get away with it because they got buku money and they're the only power supplier for the Duval County, Jacksonville greater area, unfortunately. So I feel like I am doing as much as I can. I am working as much as I can, right? Not only trying to do YouTube engagements, and I'm not getting paid much from anything regarding YouTube. like maybe $100 a month, unfortunately, my 9 to 5 job, and then whatever side gigs or jobs I can do. But the cost of living is outpacing the income I'm making. And I feel like I'm not getting, like he's saying here, you need to be making at least 11% or higher in order to stay ahead, because you're just getting poorer. Bitcoin has returned to an average of 130% annually since 2012, despite the dramatic drawdowns. That makes it one of the most asymmetric bets of the past decade, and it's outperformed the NASDAQ by over 99%. We got a quote here from Lynn Alden. Fiat currencies are primarily based on ever-growing debt levels. The money supply continuously grows in every country for this reason. This offers a high level of global liquidity and suggests its long-term expansion is structural. However, the growth isn't linear. Over the short time frames, it fluctuates based on specific drivers. Michael Howell, author of Capital Wars, identifies 3 main drivers currently impacting global liquidity: U.S. Federal Reserve, the People's Bank of China, and banks lending through collateral markets. Howell also puts to indirect influences that act with a lag of 6 to 15 months. This includes world business cycle, oil prices, dollar strength, bond market volatility. A weak global economy and a softening dollar typically boost liquidity. But rising bond volatility tightens correlated supply and chokes lending, undermining liquidity, right? Some of the things that DJT's administration is trying to do is kind of curb that treasury interest rate and bond market. And he really wants Jerome Powell to cut rates, but Jerome Powell did not do that. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, is he going to fire? Is he going to fire? I don't think he's going to fire Jerome Powell. I don't think it would be wise to fire Jerome Powell, in my personal opinion, despite the fact that everybody wants a rate cut. I do agree it's probably not the best time to do a rate cut. We still need to let it ride. We still need to see how, the CPI, the unemployment, all that stuff comes out, and just hang tight. I do believe that the end of 2025 will have a nice rally, but I still think that May is going to be a nice green month. If we switch over to the monthly, compared to the past months, we had 2 greens, right, between April and May. And usually we might have 2 or 3 greens, a red, a green, or a couple reds. It's perfectly fine. And so even if we have another green that takes us up near 120,000, and then we have a red, but that all that does is just bring us back down to 100K, it wouldn't be as dramatic of a hit, and then we could continue to push forward. So diversify yourself, keep your head down. If you can DCA and stack them sats, do it. But we know if you pay attention to the world stage, there's a lot of tension around China, the Asia area, obviously India, Pakistan, Ukraine, Russia. There's a lot of uncertainty, and some things that are I would keep an eye on, because that could have an effect on the overall market. But still, we're doing pretty good considering how long ago the Bitcoin halving was and where we should be in the M2 money supply. Chance of Bitcoin price highs above 110K in May increasing. So the chances of hitting 110K is increasing is what they're saying. According to Bank Swiss, a crypto custody provider, BTC's bullish momentum stems from its ability to thrive on risk-on and risk-off environments since the U.S. presidential election. Data from the industry roll-up reports highlights Bitcoin's high Sharpe ratio of 1.72, a key financial metric that measures the risk-adjusted returns by dividing an asset's average return minus the risk-free rate. A higher Sharpe ratio reflects superior risk adjustment returns, and in 2025, Bitcoin's robust score surpasses only by gold, highlights its growing maturity and asset. And I've been seeing a lot of gold commercials lately. I'm not sure about you, but I've definitely been seeing a lot of gold commercials. And I understand why they're pushing gold. I understand. I actually own a very small nugget of gold, probably worth $2. But diversify yourself as best you can. Real estate, traditional stocks, crypto, whatever you can to help shore you up in case 1 or 2 of them tank. You still have the other 2 to hold you up, or 3, or whatever you got. We got a quote here from Dominic Wabe. It says, in this environment, Bitcoin has emerged as a Swiss Army knife asset. Whether equities rally or bonds crumble, BTC trades on its supply-demand fundamentals. delivering a win-win profile that traditional assets simply cannot offer. Cointelegraph reported that Bitcoin is gearing up for the next leg, an acceleration phase, according to Fidelity Digital Assets Q2 2025 signal reports. Fidelity analyst Zach Wainwright explained that Bitcoin's historical tendency to enter explosive price surges is characterized by high volatility and high profit. Bitcoin spot buyers turned dominant, right? So spot trading is dominating right now. We got spot Bitcoin ETF inflows over 4.5 billion since April 1st. And you can see this chart here where it's starting to, obviously, like red is seller dominant. Green is right here. You can't, hang on, let me try to make this bigger for you. So green is on the far right. So right here, we got two of those. Gray is neutral and red is seller, taker sell dominant. So things are flipping. The narrative's flipping. We already knew that the government was positive on crypto or bullish on crypto. However, we did suffer a setback that I'm going to talk about later in the video. So stay tuned for that. If you're just joining with us, thank you for stopping by. Make sure you hit that like button. Moving on, Bitcoin yet to hit 150K because outsiders are ghosting, says Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor says Bitcoin hasn't reached 150K because holders without a long-term outlook have been selling off while the new cohort of investors are beginning to enter the market. So you can't blame them though. So I wouldn't say the big boys, and I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want you, the retail investor who might have 0.005 of a Bitcoin in your entire portfolio, selling that little bit of your Bitcoin to the banks, to the centralized authorities. I want you to hang on to it. But if you have 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 Bitcoin, first off, congratulations, good job. Don't let anybody know that you have that. And if you only take 0.5, you sell 0.5 to get you a couple grand, a few grand, whatever it might be at the time, to help you cover emergencies or whatever like that. Like that's perfectly fine in my opinion. I know a lot of people will be like, no, don't sell Bitcoin, blah blah blah. But you got to do what you got to do, what's best for you and your household. But I think what Michael Saylor's talking about is more of the bigger boys, right? Whether it's the banks or the investing firms or whatever it might be that are ghosting the market, that are taking profits. Because we've been seeing a lot of sell pressure over the past few months, the beginning few months after December in 2025. Because we were on track in late December to go into 2025 with a good, like, hey, we're doing this, guys. But, obviously there was a lot of selling in January and quite a bit of selling in February. In February and March. So Michael Saylor saying that it's stopping us from hitting where we should be or where he expects us to be at this time. So the lack of lots of non-economical interested parties are rotating out of the asset. However, at the same time, new cohort of investors are entering. A lot of Bitcoin, for whatever reason, has left the hands of the governments and in the hands of the lawyers and the heads of banks and trustees. Don't forget, we had Germany sell off quite a bit of Bitcoin in the end of last year. So yeah, the governments, the banks, maybe not the U.S., but other countries and other government agencies in those countries might be selling. And now that's going into the centralized banks or the various investment firms or whatever it might be. Saylor said that many of these trustees do not have a 10-year investment mindset, and as Bitcoin price began to rally, they took advantage and thought this is a good exit point to get liquidity. So I think people less committed to the long term have taken the opportunity to exit the market, and a whole new class of investors are entering by way of ETFs and by way of Bitcoin treasury companies. After Bitcoin reached an all-time high of 109K on January 20th, just hours before the U.S. President DJT inauguration, it experienced a downtrend, falling as low as 76K on April 9th. On May 8th, Bitcoin reclaimed 100K for the first time since February 1st after DJT proposed tariffs. The recent price surge, and by the way, if that announcement of the tariffs wasn't announced the way it was, and the numbers just made no fucking sense, I don't think we would have fallen as much as we did. But, and don't forget, we still have that. That is still lingering. it may have been paused, but that's still lingering. And by the way, the UK situation, that 10% is still on the table. And if you actually look at the trade deal, it's not all that in a bag of chips. So don't listen to everybody you watch or listen or news outlet wise. The recent price surge has pushed Strategy's Bitcoin holding to 50% above the average Bitcoin price of $68K at the time of publication. The firm holds about 555,450 Bitcoin, valued at $57 billion. Spot ETFs posted 564,000 in inflows over the past 5 trading days, according to Fairside data. Meanwhile, Saylor has said he's not surprised the U.S. government hasn't yet bought Bitcoin for the strategic Bitcoin reserve. And that's true, right? We signed an executive order on March 7th. We haven't done much. But there might be reasons for that. There might be some people, both sides of the aisle, that are in the way of accomplishing that. So, politics. You got a cloak and dagger, smile in the face, stab somebody in the back just to get what you want. And it shouldn't be that way. They should do what's best for the country and the people. But whatever. Greedy ass people. I don't like politicians, if you haven't noticed. Anyways, Dogecoin surges 10%. Not all of them, but a majority of them who are more greedy and don't represent us, but represent their own interests. Dogecoin surges 10%. Bitcoin nears 104K. All these articles are going to be about the same, right? So as, Bitcoin pumped up to 104 during the Asia hours or late night, early morning for us. Dogecoin rallied 10%. ETH rose 3.5%. Right now, at time of filming, it's it's actually 5%, bringing weekly gains to 30%. Other major cryptocurrencies like Solana, Cardano, XRP, and BNB or Binance Smart Chain rose 3.2 to 6%. The move follows a string of pro-crypto developments in the U.S. this week. On Wednesday, New Hampshire passed a bill allowing the state to create a strategic reserve. I don't think that would move it, but whatever. Arizona followed suit the day later on its own legislating supporting the crypto reserve. The state-level momentum comes as political leaders lean further into digital asset policy ahead of November election. President DJT's bullish remarks, blah, blah, blah. U.S. trade talks, blah, blah, blah. Same thing. They really, that would be huge, guys. If whatever U.S.-China relations are, if they can land a good deal that's economical for both sides, we're happy, and we can just stop this tariff nonsense, that would be huge. Now, that could be a catalyst right there. If all of a sudden Trump comes and China confirms it, because you don't want Trump to say, hey, we got to deal with China, we're all good, and then China turns around and is like, no, he never talked to us, because he does do shit like that, as much as you like him. But if we could get a confirmed deal between the U.S. and China, I think that itself and that announcement itself could definitely push us up. Even if we were at 125K Bitcoin, that could definitely boost us up real quick. But we'll see how that goes. U.S. UK signing a fresh trade agreement that will remove reciprocal tariffs and lower duties on American goods, further lifting sentiment across equities and crypto alike. President Trump's optimistic look on the weekend's China trade talks is easing fears of escalating trade war, encouraging traders to shift capital back into asset classes like cryptocurrencies. We got Coinbase buying Bitcoin. This is all catalysts or various tidbits of what led to where we are today. We're still trading below 5 to 4.3% below the January high of almost 109K. They have 108.7K. But analysts say that the recent moves mark a decisive break for the sluggish price action, which it has been annoying, right? It's never fun to just chop sideways. But traders believe that the crypto industry may be finally found its second wind as a hedge against market uncertainty. Investors are changing their perspectives on crypto and how the altcoins have departed from negative trend and found buying pressure from a renewed risk on sentiment. Now, how long would that last? The bulls will only last so long, especially if they're going into altcoins, right? They can only do so much. Ethereum 30% rally this week is also being attributed to growing institutional interest momentum behind the Petra upgrade, which introduced new long anticipated execution layer reforms aimed at boosting efficiency and scalability. So that was a huge upgrade for Ethereum. The upgrade provides reforms Ethereum desperately needed to cement its position as a leading chain amidst growing competition. Given that Ethereum is trading well below an all-time high, we could see a substantial upside in the coming weeks and months, especially as macro fears ease and institutions become more willing to allocate towards crypto and those ETFs, because there are Ethereum ETFs. We're still waiting on Solana, Litecoin, Doge, all that stuff. But still, the momentum is rising. That's all you care about. That's all you really need to know. Obviously, have some of your price targets already in your head. When that asset hits that certain price, you're going to sell this much, 25%, 10%, 50%, whatever it is. Have those numbers ready to go in your heads, because if you just sit there and everybody just diamond hands, right? I want to make sure this is crystal clear. We're just sitting around in a circle, diamond handing, kind of like a circle jerk. Nobody's going to make money. Take profits if you need to take profits, and if you need it because of his emergency, or you got a family to take care of, or whatever you need to do, fix your car, whatever it might be. If everybody diamond hands and nobody's in the game trading, right, moving the markets, we're not going to get anywhere. Diamond handing is good to a certain degree, but when everybody on the network or inside that asset is sitting around diamond handing, just looking at each other, waiting for somebody to make a fucking move, the price is not going to appreciate. So don't just sit there and diamond hand. Take profits, do some stop losses, sell down, buy up, or excuse me, sell up, buy down, sell the highs, buy the lows. Don't do what I just said, the backwards. But anyways, about 2 weeks ago, blah, 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 Bitcoin rallied, blah, 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 yada, 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 whatever. Top alternative cryptocurrencies like Dogecoin, XRP, yada, yada, yada. What is this? What are you doing to me here? Doge and XRP charts show Ichimoku clouds. Okay. Cloud breakout, cloud breakout. ETH and SO daily chart, Ichimoku clouds. Okay. We're breaking out. So we broke out. We broke out. Okay, that's basically it. Why did you waste my time, CoinDesk? Thank you. Actually, let's go look at some of those cryptocurrencies real quick. So let's look at Solana. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Okay, let's switch from monthly to the 4 hour. I still like long time frames. Ooh, that's a nice little spike, boys. All right, so Wednesday, May 7th, right? So the beginning of this week, Monday, May 5th. So let's go from Monday, May 5th to the high here. That's a 22% increase. Not bad. Not bad whatsoever. And then just from Wednesday to that high was a 21% increase. Not bad. So we went up basically almost 21% in 17, what is that, 2 days, 2 hours? Yeah, 2 days, 2 hours. Not bad whatsoever. Hopefully, Solana, you can see right now, it's kind of curling back, right? It's pulling back. And if we go back to Bitcoin, right, you can kind of see that same thing. Bitcoin's kind of flattening out, right? And so the other assets are curling back. Hopefully it can push back up and stay. And while Bitcoin's moving sideways, the altcoins need to make their move. Caspa, kind of same thing. Had a nice little push up on Wednesday, Thursday. It's flattening out along with Bitcoin. And hopefully it doesn't curl back down, right? We don't want to just curl down like this, right? Maybe come back to this 50 EMA ribbon, which will be back around the bottom of 10 cents, because Caspa doesn't move that much, unfortunately. ADA, kind of same thing. What else we got? Bonk, same thing. Sue. Now, Sue was pretty promising, but it's doing the same thing everybody else does, right? We had a nice Wednesday, Thursday, leveling off. Let's look at Ravencoin. Wow. Okay. I wouldn't say it's the exact same, but I think it's doing similar. Need to get some more trade volume on Ravencoin. Litecoin, actually, it jumped the gun. So it actually started moving up on Tuesday, May 6th. And then pushed up, kind of following suit. Not exactly, right? So like it was retracing pretty hard. Maybe somebody here was taking some serious profits on what is that, Wednesday the 7th, and then it continued to push up with the rest of the markets, and now we're sort of level off. We did curl here. You can see that curl. Maybe come back to the 50 at 97, but Litecoin, if it can hold over $100, that'd be awesome. But basically, all the altcoins are doing the same thing that Bitcoin is, right? We pushed up, Bitcoin's leveling off. Some coins are curling downwards, right? But some coins like Ethereum, look at Ethereum, right? It's actually pushing up further, right? So 2,500, definitely within range. We'll see how it goes in the long term. Now this was funny. I'm not sure. Yeah, I made this picture. It was on the daily. Let's go to the daily. You know Game of Thrones? Was it on the daily? I don't know why it's doing that. Or was it the hourly? Basically what I was trying to say, yeah, there it is. Basically what I was trying to say is this part right here is the wall, right? So right now we're hitting the wall. Can we get through that wall? And I asked on Twitter, does anybody have a dragon from, you know, that hot D Game of Thrones that we can use to take this wall out so we can push up to 105, 106, 108K, make a new all-time high? That'd be greatly appreciated. To confirm, remove drawings. Yes, remove. All right, cool. Just messing around. Just having some fun. Follow me on X and Instagram if you're not already. But yeah, a lot of the altcoins are looking pretty good. I'm stoked. I'm happy. But we'll see how things continue to pan out. If we did pull back, you know, you could see, for example, XRP down to $2.10, Ethereum down to maybe 2,100, Bitcoin back to 99, 100K, you know, DOT back down to almost $4, Doge from 22 cents back down to 15 cents, but nothing we're not used to. It's just we were tired of sitting at these damn levels all the time. So it was time to move up. Robert Kiyosaki says, ditch fake money for Bitcoin, gold, or silver, right? Like I said earlier in the stream, a lot of people are moving over into Bitcoin, gold, silver, just to try to diversify themselves, but also because the appreciation of these assets are just so much greater right now, especially if we're still in uncertainty. Like if we go to CoinMarketCap, yeah, the greed is at 70-something%, but there's still some uncertainty there. And you can also see that the altcoin season index is moving up, right? I talked about this on the 7-day. You can see we're in altcoin season right now. But what we really want is we want the 90-day altcoin season to sustain. Right now we're in it, but we want to sustain. That's the thing we want. So it's sort of moving. We're at 39 of 100, more towards Bitcoin. Of course, when Bitcoin doesn't move, even if Bitcoin falls back, it's going to bring the alts with it. But Bitcoin can also move up and not bring the altcoins with it. We've seen that in the past. It's just this time around, Bitcoin is bringing the altcoins with it, which is what we want. So hang tight, DCA, and keep doing what you're doing. So basically, this gentleman is criticizing fiat. They have disdain for fiat currency. They repeatedly criticize the U.S. dollar, labeling a dying currency inflated by the U.S. government. His financial philosophy, rooted in Austrian economics and personal sovereignty, champions assets that cannot be debased or politically controlled. Don't work or save fake money, he advised. Get your own decentralized gold, silver, or Bitcoin standard. Now, personally, you know, I work and I get paid in fiat. But then, you know, I have to pay my bills because everybody wants fiat. I can't pay my electric bill. It'd be awesome if I could pay my electric bill and everything in crypto. Yeah, I just take direct deposits in crypto. But I need an employer that will pay me in Bitcoin or crypto. I wouldn't want them to pay me in Bitcoin because I wouldn't want to sell the Bitcoin. If I could do like a 401k that's like, you know, 60%, or let's say like 30% Roth, 30% normal, traditional, and then, you know, 30-30. What does that leave me with? 60. So 40% Bitcoin. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. I am using Acorns though, and using the middle or higher risk strategy, and that gives me like 4 to 5% Bitcoin, and that's been outperforming the other assets, which is very interesting to me. But yeah, we just need more institutions to support Bitcoin assets to where my 401k has a position in Bitcoin instead of just the traditional assets and tech stocks or whatever it might be. Ethereum and Doge let altcoin rally as Bitcoin retakes 100k. Let's go straight to the Ethereum. So Ethereum has gained 11% over the past 24 hours at the time of writing and has broken through $2,000 for the first time since March. It marks a rare occasion where Ethereum is outperforming BTC with the world's largest cryptocurrency, which has risen only modest 2.7%. Both Dogecoin and Cardano have risen more than 8%, and SU rallying 13.8%. Bitcoin Cash trading at 14.3%. The top performer among the 100 top coins by market cap is Pudgy Pigeons, up 27% at this time since yesterday. Thursday's gains have led to feverish speculation on X, and altcoin season is coming. Altcoin season, altcoin season, altcoin season. I am not innocent of that. I kind of did say altcoin season, but hey, you love it when your babies rise. So get off me. Moving on, Coinbase acquires crypto derivative Deribit. We talked about this a few weeks ago. Deribit being bought. Hi, Mom. I see you. I'll see you soon. Love you. Thanks for stopping by. Hit the like button. It's the little thumb up button. You know you made it when your mom's watching your show. All right? By the way, don't forget, we got a 30K giveaway coming up. If you haven't checked it out, the Gleam link is in the video description. You got a chance to win some Bitcoin axes provided to us by Coin Mining Central, Solo Satoshi, Mineshop.eu, Pleb Source. We got some licenses to help people track their crypto transactions and taxes for cointracking.info. We got one Gold Shell Mini Doge 3 and a bunch of small little crypto trackers, fun little cute things. It's free. I have to pay to ship it to you. You don't have to do anything. You just got to click the link, do some various steps to get more entries, and have fun enjoying the giveaway. There's 21 days left. It ends at the end of May. Make sure you check it out. Link is in the description. And thank you so much. Make sure you also help me get to 30K. Like we're not at 30K. We're like 150-ish away from it. So please do me a favor. Share the videos out. Any of the videos that you like on the channel and you think somebody else in your family, friends can get quality out of it, please feel free to share it. Get a new subscriber and help me out. Appreciate it. And thank you for all the members of the channel that help support us and what we do here. Again, small guy in a bedroom making videos on YouTube. Don't have a studio, don't have a warehouse, don't have a huge mining farm, don't have a crypto shed, just a regular guy that overheats his house and have to run the AC all the time, paying a lot of electricity because I believe in the future of Bitcoin and crypto assets. But it's starting to kick my ass. Anyways, I think Coinbase acquiring Deribit's pretty cool. Derivatives exchange. If you use 3 commas and you're a fan of 3 commas, which is a automated trading or algo trading bot, which I talked about many times on the channel. You can set up various positions, your take profits, your stop losses, all that stuff. Focus on various assets. They got different plans for different things. I'm pretty sure there's a link in this video description, but more towards the middle. You got to find it. But yeah, so it's automated trading. Kind of like it's better than the Telegram in my opinion, but the Telegram option gives you access to a lot of Solana coins, Solana ecosystem coins that the 3 commas platform doesn't allow you to. But Coinbase is on 3 commas, Deribit's on 3 commas. Now there's a merger of those two, so I think that would be really cool to dabble. Do you guys, and this is a question for you, whether you're watching right now live or later on, do you guys mess around in derivatives? I'd be interested to know. Do you personally do well trading in the derivatives market? Please let me know. Obviously, never share your portfolio numbers. What I mean by that is never share how much you made or how much of an asset you own. You could share percentages, like Bitcoin makes only 20% of my portfolio, or Litecoin makes up 0.5% of my portfolio. Don't share straight up numbers, people. You're going to make yourself a target. Don't do that, okay? Moving on, We're excited to join forces with Coinbase to power a new era in global crypto derivatives, Deribit CEO Luke said. As the leading crypto options platform, we've built a strong, profitable business, and this acquisition will accelerate the foundation we have laid while providing traders with even more opportunities across spot, futures, perpetuals, and options, all under one trusted brand. Together with Coinbase, we are set to shape the future in global crypto derivatives market. Now, interesting, I bought Coinbase at the wrong time as far as stocks go, and I am down significantly. I'm an idiot. Whatever. I'm an idiot. I suck at stocks. I'm good with crypto. I don't know what it is. Anyways, I bought Coinbase. I bought into the hype. It's down. It's probably going back up now. But I think the fact that Coinbase is not only buying crypto, Bitcoin specifically, but then acquiring Deribit, expanding itself, even though they just laid off a bunch of employees a few months ago. I think Coinbase is if they continue to push and Brian Armstrong does the right things by their users, I think that could be a really good thing for everybody in the future. By the way, Celsius CEO Alex sent us a 12 years. If you were impacted by the Celsius scam, promising 20% plus on interest on various crypto assets, and you lost funds in there, that guy that promised the world and delivered nothing lost 12 years of his life, or is going to lose 12 years of their life. Not sure if he's got any money to give him like a comfortable, jail time or prison time. But I hope people like him don't come back into the space. I don't want scammers back in the space. Unless they're OG scammers and just messed up because they were using their platform to solicit drugs and stuff like that and then got caught. Those guys are, I don't have a problem with. But the people who just straight up pyramid schemed the crypto ecosystem and took advantage of retail hype and enthusiasm, they can get stuffed, right? Sam Bankman-Fried, don't care. Don't want to hear from you. Don't come back. Alex. You guys should have already gotten your money back from Celsius. If you haven't already, be careful. There's a lot of fraudulent and phishing emails out there claiming that there's more funds that you could get. Do not fall for it. Check the email you're receiving it from. Make sure, don't click any links. And sometimes if you mouse over something, like if I mouse over this blue link right here, you can see in the bottom of my screen, it says twitter.com and then the person's name, right? Which is Mackenzie. And we like Mackenzie. But if you click over it and it says Bob's Burgers instead of Celsius or whatever the company, the law firm representing Celsius, it's probably a phishing link. Don't click it, all right? So just be careful. But I'm glad Alex is going to serve 12 years. I really think he should serve 20 years. He got off lightly compared to SBF, but he also didn't rip off as much as SBF did. Anyways, moving on. Why the Senate bill, crypto bill tanked. Let's see if I can blow through this for you real quick. Senate Democrats moved Thursday to reject the industry-backed crypto bill, delivered a significant blow to digital asset on Capitol Hill, where the agenda suddenly appeared to be on wobbly ground. The crypto bill still had a path forward, but the industry effort influenced policymakers on both sides of the aisle and hundreds of millions of dollars, blah, blah, blah. It's very disappointing since Cynthia Loomis, the crypto queen, who helped lead a number of negotiations to win over the Democratic holdouts. The setback illustrates the challenges of bipartisan policymaking in the age of Trump 2.0. Unlike the push to pass the tax-cutting mega bill, Republicans need Democrats' votes to advance industry-friendly crypto legislation through the Senate. Well, we have, and it's not all Senator Warren. There's a number of people on both sides of the aisles, not just Democrats, that need to align with crypto. Here's the problem, though, and I know this is going to piss off some people, but I just want you to understand this. If I am a old school, hard-nosed senator, Republican or Democrat, doesn't matter, and what I'm seeing is the president came in, he talked positively about crypto. I don't know anything about crypto because I'm not educated. And then I see he launches Trump coin, Melania coin, Baron coin, whatever his team launched, and they're making money. That looks like a scam to me. Like you're just wanting to push crypto because it helps prop your money up. So no, I don't care for it. I don't care for the bill. Is there anything on this bill that's gonna support what I want? Is it gonna give aid to the 9/11 first responders?
Is it going to help out with the military budget? You know, like things that some senators care about, maybe not all, but some senators care about. You know, is it going to provide tax cuts for the middle class? If it doesn't have those things in it along with the bill, and that's what they do, they wrap up these things in the bill and kind of dangle it as a carrot, then yeah, I can see why. But Warren has always been a critic of crypto. So has Chuck Schumer, who took down Silk Road, and so has many of the other ones. So I haven't went through the bill overall, but it didn't pass. However, there's different ways, and I think that Cynthia and the team and various political leaders are going to continue to push. And maybe there just needs some more to be more guidance. Maybe it's not clear as to what the bill should do, and that's what they want. They don't agree with certain aspects of the bill. They agree with crypto and blockchain technology as a whole, but they don't agree with how the bill is going to proceed. So many Democrats, including Minority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York, have warmed up to crypto in recent years, right? So some people are being, you know, hey, come join us. But, you know, there's some few things that need to, you know, make sure that we dot our I's, cross our T's. But progressive lawmakers like Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts have remained a staunch opponent of GOP-led efforts to legislate on crypto and concerns about Trump family's crypto ties. So that's the thing. If Trump didn't have any crypto and he didn't launch Trump Coin, Melania Coin, Baron Coin on Solana, which, by the way, if you got into that, you probably got wrecked like most of the people. But compared to their investment, the Trump family is up. But if they didn't have that, if that didn't launch that, I think this bill would have passed no problem. There's just some concerns. And what's funny about that is it's very hypocritical, right? Because we have, and no disrespect, but I'm just going to call you out, Miss Nancy Pelosi. We had politicians who clearly did insider trading, right? There's a whole entire ecosystems of apps created that track these politicians' trades because they made so much money. But Trump does it, and it's crypto related, not traditional stocks, and it's bad. So it's kind of like hypocritical. I don't know. We have different opinions. We can all have different opinions. It does not matter. We can still get along, love each other, respect one another, and do our thing. I'm just saying, I still think that the bill has a chance. Probably needs some more finessing, some fine tuning. But yes, you're going to have critics that see what DJT is doing and how the family has crypto assets and how it feels like they're just trying to pump their bags and push against it. So some adjustments may be needed, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe I could get my hands on the bill and actually take a look at what was denied. Maybe there's some language in there that I can understand. Probably not, because I'm not a politician or a legislator, but whatever. Bitcoin miners Marathon and CleanSpark post higher Q1 revenues, but both lose money. Right? So we're in this middle part right now where the mining operations are, you know, the revenues are up. They're buying locations. They're modifying old locations, old power plants, whatever it might be. They're grabbing up real estate to expand their facility, their footprint in the Bitcoin mining scene, but they're losing money, right? So if Bitcoin can climb up to 120K plus, then I think they start to see more positive returns. But yeah, just bear in mind that some of these assets, while they're up and their revenue is up in Q1, they're losing $533 million. With Mara losing $533 million and CleanSpark losing $139 million. That's nothing to scoff at. That's quite a bit. Energy use in Kuwait drops after crypto crackdown. All right, so police raid 100 homes, see the region's energy consumption half, right? So they're stopping unlawful mining. Mining should be in the hands of every person if they want to participate, but if they're like buying entire houses and turning into nothing but ASIC farms and wrecking the grid and not making it sustainable and not curtailing or anything like that, I can see how that could be a problem. But yeah, just some quick article I wanted to mention to you. Energy use in Kuwait drops after the police force cracked down on mining operations. And I wouldn't even call it unlawful, because anybody should be able to mine. It's just, to what excess are they doing it? Like, if I just took this entire house, kicked everybody out, and had nothing but racks running through the entire house and every bedroom and everything, just hashing away, AC running 24/7, you know, that would turn this house into a power sucking machine for sure. Anyways, I'm actually going to get up out of here early. I'm going to go check out some stuff. I know Red Panda Mining should be going live soon, if I am correct. But I need to get on out of here because I'm going to go to the rookie minicamp for the Jacksonville Jaguars and hang out with them. Let me ask see if you guys got any questions, comments, concerns. Look like everybody was just hanging out. Love to see it. I know you guys, I don't interact as much as I probably should, like some of my other colleagues do. But I rip through the news because I want to get it to you. I give you my opinion, my TA. Again, it's just that, an opinion. What I say is not to be taken as Bible. You take that, you digest it, you say, you know what, Vega, I don't agree with this, but I agree with this, and then you make your own, whether it's a buying decision, investment decision, whatever. Even though I'm not giving financial advice, I know you guys are smart enough to look at a chart and determine for yourself, hey, you know what, this might be a good chance, or this might be a good opportunity, or I might take profits at this level or that level. You guys, I met you, I hung out with you, some of you in person, some of you online. You're very intelligent. I love this community, and I thank you so much for the support. Don't forget to get signed up for that Gleam link, the 30K giveaway down in the description below. Check in chat right now. Let me see what's going on as we are about to get out of here. How's the BitX, dude? Oh, the BitX is good, man. The BitX is good. You know, I just hit another. So the BitXs are hitting so I hit a couple blocks on the Nerd QX, and the Nano and stuff, and Mini have hit some blocks. So I'm just having fun. Probably a lot of the maxis are gonna be like, hey, why the hell are you doing that? But I basically combined all my BitXs and a Nerd QX onto Retro Mic, and then I got the Avalon Mini 3 Nano S, Nano 3S and 3 on Cryptex pool, which I've hit a few blocks on either side. But Retro Mic's pool seems to really like BitXs. Now, if I were really going to do it, I probably would put all of it on the on Bitcoin, so the doctor's pool, public pool, or even my own Bitcoin node. But no, they're doing good. It's getting hot though. So say for example, my best miner is back down to 1.3 terahash. So it's running really hot. But that's just because it's hot in Florida. That's just the way it goes. That's the way it goes. All right, Monero's on fire. Everybody's saying what's up to each other. 30K, Rud Puts. Thank you guys. Automatic Beats, appreciate it. I'll send you 2 if you send me 1. Send me 1 BTC and I will send you 2 back. Trust me, bro. That's awesome. All right, so Red Panda Mining should be going live any minute now. I'm going to send you guys on over there because I'm going to throw on my Jag outfit and head on out to Rookie Mini Camp. See how it goes. Hey, I do have the Octominer X12 Ultra and 11 GPUs I am trying to offload at secondhand pricing. I need the money. You get GPUs and a mining frame. If you can buy it all at once, great. There's a list posted on the YouTube channel. If you can't and there's just a 1 GPU you want, let me know. You send whatever asset you can or fiat. I send you, you give me the address, I ship it to you. I would like to avoid eBay because there's a bunch of scammers out there, but I am selling 11 GPUs and the Octominer X12 Ultra, and I have the original box for the Octominer X12 Ultra, and about 90% of the original boxes for the GPUs, I think, except for one, the 2070 that I got from my nephew. But if you're interested and you have the money, don't overextend yourself and don't buy something from me because I'm saying that I could use the money and you're trying to help me. If you got your own bills to take care of, please do it. Don't worry about me. Oh God, that was loud. God, that was loud. So appreciate it, but don't overextend yourself. If you need the GPUs, you want it, let me know. Post this on the YouTube channel. You know how to contact me. Discord, Twitter DMs. There's even a contact email on the YouTube channel if you know how to get to it. Let me know if you need it. I'll catch you guys later. Go hang out with Red Panda Mining. All right? Peace out. Oh yeah, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Check out links. down below to help the channel. Bye.